So good afternoon, everyone. I'm happy to see you all today. Thank you for allotting time during your week to attend an ACE Commerce Philippines event. I hope everyone's excited because we will be starting our webinar in a few minutes. Thank you.
That's what I want listeners to see. And that's just for you. Niggas think, you've been in the game so long, but it's just all that shit matters is the way it's so long.
Hey, so hi everyone. Welcome to this week's ACE Commerce event. Thank you for joining us for today's exciting webinar. My name is Meryl and I'm a Community Associate of ACE Commerce Philippines, a cross-border and entrepreneur learning community. Before I call on our speaker for today's webinar, let me introduce you guys as to what ACE Commerce is. Amazing Cross-Borders Entrepreneur Commerce, or ACE Commerce, is a global entrepreneur community that started in Indonesia. ACE Commerce is for anyone interested in learning about building successful cross-border commerce by exploring opportunities in a wide range of commerce, as well as having amazing insights and guidance from awesome founders and entrepreneurs. We strive to bring in amazing founders, mentors, and entrepreneurs to talk to our community of aspiring successful entrepreneurs. And we strive to provide the best online resources and content to our community to help them towards entrepreneurial success. If you want to learn more about entrepreneurship and get updated for our upcoming events, please like our Facebook page. And in order to connect with fellow entrepreneurs and aspiring entrepreneurs, you can join our Telegram groups so you can network and ask advice from the community. Lastly, I'd like to go over a few items for those who want to have an e-certificate. A participant must fill out the evaluation form during the end of the webinar. The link will be given at the end of the talk and will be open until 11:59 p.m. today. You must send a proof of attendance at this webinar. It can be a screenshot of this live and also a proof of membership at our website. It can be a screenshot of your account on ACE Commerce Philippines website. So in case In case some of you guys are not a member yet, here's how you can sign up. So I hope everyone here is already a member, but if you're not, you can sign up at our website after this webinar. Anyway, that's all from me because I know everyone is excited to meet our speaker. So let me introduce our key speaker for the day, Mr. Charles Chavez, financial coach, advisor, and manager candidate at Sun Life and co-owner at Healthy Rabbit PH. This webinar is perfect for anyone interested in managing and getting a solid foundation on their finances. Everyone, let us all welcome and give a round of applause to Mr. Charles Chavez. Hello.
Hello guys. Hello everyone. Good afternoon. Hello Meryl. Ayan. Kamusta naman kayong guys? Kamusta kayo lahat? I'm looking at my other screen. It's grabe 395 daw ang watching sa YouTube live natin. I'm really grateful. I'm really thankful to be here in front of you all. Disclaimer guys, before I got invited sa ACE to become one of the speakers, no, hindi talaga ako ganun ka-familiar with ACE Commerce. But when Meryl invited me, I did some research and nakita ko, I found out na grabe, ibang level pala yung mga speakers na ini-invite dito, guys. So, I'm truly honored sa management team ng Ace Commerce. Thank you for the trust. Thank you for this opportunity, no, na makakapag-share ako ng experiences ko and of course, my knowledge about my field. Yun. So, shout out sa mga wala sa Metro Manila. Grabe, ang daming nakakatuwa kasi yung YouTube live dito, ay nakikita ko yung mga chat ninyo, guys. So, okay yan, mag-chat lang kayo para hindi naman boring no, na ako, kasi ang konti lang namin dito sa Zoom eh. So, ayan, I hope you're all safe and healthy. Hindi ko na papatagalin guys, I'll be sharing my screen. And I hope, okay, wait lang ha. Okay. Okay ba guys, kita na ba yung screen ko? Alright, kita na ba? Ayan, yes, thank you so much for the confirmation. Ayan, so, sobrang interesting ng topic natin for this afternoon. We will be talking about financial literacy or the basics of saving, budgeting, and investing. If there's one thing aside from love na alam natin na sobrang interesting na topic, alam natin pag love life ang usapan, lahat tayo sobrang talaga, parang willing tayo maging marites tama? But aside from love, we also want to talk about money. Kasi whether you are a student or you are a fresh grad, you are working, or you have a business, owner ka ng business, no, I'm sure at some point, alam mo na importante ang pera. Yan. So before that, pwede ba na allow me to introduce myself more? Parang, can I just briefly introduce myself para kahit man lang after ng webinar na to, kahit pa paano makilala niyo ako ng konti. Okay lang ba yun, guys? Ayan, yes. Yun, so, again, my name is Charles and I'm currently a licensed insurance advisor, a licensed mutual fund advisor, and also a manager in Sun Life. Yan. So aside from that, I'm also handling small businesses. May mga small businesses ako on the side which i-share ko rin later about dun. So before ako naging advisor sa Sun Life and before I became an entrepreneur, ano ba yung nangyari sa buhay ko muna? So share ko lang and I hope may ma-inspire or may makarelate din no, sa kwento ko. So, ayan, balikan muna natin yung college days natin. I graduated from the University of Santo Tomas. I took up Bachelor of Science in Business Administration, major in Financial Management. So, college pa lang, na-expose na ako sa world of finance kasi yan yung course ko. So, after graduation, I immediately worked sa isang napakasikat na bangko, which is Citibank. I got my first job in Citibank as a payment specialist. So, more on back-end. Sa head office ako nag-work under accounts payable department. So sa mga nasa corporate dyan, mga employees, shout out sa inyo guys. So I also experienced working in a corporate setting. Yun. So June 2014 ako nag-start dyan. And after a few years, I needed to look for a second source of income. Why? because my dad got diagnosed with stage 3 lung cancer. Ayan, so talaga yan ang plot twist ng buhay ko nung time na nagkasakit yung dad ko. Talagang nag-shake yung bawat aspect ng buhay namin sa family, financially, mentally, emotionally, even spiritually, no, talagang ibang level ang pagsubok pag may sakit ang isang family member, guys. So I needed to look for a second source of income. So bakit Sun Life? Because I was a policy holder or 2015, kumuha na ako ng plan sa Sun Life, and later I'll be talking more about that. Yun. So I joined the company para ipagsabay ko. So at some point, ginawa ko Citibank sa umaga and Sun Life sa gabi. Okay guys, so for 3 months, pinagsabay ko siya. Pero bakit 3 months lang? Because yung sakit ng father ko got worse. Yung cancer cells from the lungs spread to the bones and to the brains. So to make the long story short, kailangan ng may magbabantay sa dad ko like 24/7. Okay. So after praying about it, syempre pinag-isipan ko na mabuti. By the way, I have 3 sisters, pero yung 3 sisters ko kasi, dalawa doon may family na, and yung isang sister ko hindi rin siya makakapag-leave madalas. Ako bilang I have 2 jobs, yung isa flexible yung working hours ko. So after thinking about it, I decided to finally let go of my day job in Citibank. Kaya May 2017 onwards, nag-decide na ako to go full-time in Sun Life. So yan po yung very short summary kung bakit ako napunta ng Sun Life. Yan. So ano bang ginagawa ko right now as a financial coach? So basically, I teach people how to manage their money. Ganun lang po kasimple yung ginagawa ko sa Sun Life. No? I meet clients, I teach them how to save, how to budget, how to achieve their financial goals. May it be yung mga health insurances nila, or retirement plan, educational plan, investments, lahat po yan covered ng services ko. So that's what I do. And by God's grace naman, na-bless naman tayo ni Lord sa journey natin for the past 5 years in the company. Na-bless naman ako na marami namang nagtitiwalang kliyente, and I would say na nag-enjoy din naman ako sa work ko. Ayan. So I'm currently leading a team of financial advisors. Ayan, I got promoted just last year. So if ever you have the same desire or same heart na gusto mong magturo, you want to teach people how to manage their finances, you want to see more people having brighter lives, feel free to join our team, be part of my team, guys, and pag-usapan natin yan after this talk. Reach out to me if ever interested kayo, guys. Yun. So aside from Sun Life, what else yung mga pinagkakaabalahan ko? So introduce ko lang, guys, yung mga small businesses na nagawa ko na. So first is yung events coordination business ko, guys. So it started back in December 2017. Wala lang, parang ako kasi nag-organize ng kasal ng kapatid ko eh. So nag-enjoy ako, and why not, di ba? I mean, sabi ko, why not try ko kaya itong pagkakitaan? So December 2017 until November 2021, I've been organizing weddings, company events, debut, or basta mga prom nights, mga ganyan. So nag-organize kami ng mga events. Pero yun nga, recently nag-decide na ako na mag-stop kasi sobrang busy na talaga sa iba kong ginagawa eh. So nag-stop muna ako, and of course ngayon pandemic, medyo mahirap din kasi hindi safe. Ayun. So aside from that, ito very fun fact about myself. Mahilig din kasi ako mag-shopping, or super hilig ako sa mga damit. Hindi lang siguro halata, but mahilig ako sa damit. So when the pandemic happened, me together with a friend of mine, yung close friend ko, sabi niya, gusto mo mag-start ng small online store or online shop. So benta natin yung mga pre-loved items natin, ganun. So we started a small online parang clothing shop. And nakakatuwa, guys, kasi in less than a year, ang laki ng kinita din namin dito. As in mga 50 to 60,000 in less than a year ang profit and just by selling clothes. So later i-expound ko to, no. And another thing that I also do, actually ito yung mas kinabibisihan ko right now, is yung small rabbit farm business namin in Bulacan. So last December 2020, we were able to set up a small rabbit farm. If you have time, guys, I invite you to browse through our page in Facebook. So meron kaming dalawang page, Quadro Rabbiteros and Healthy Rabbit PH, wherein we sell rabbits as pets. And to some of you na hindi pa aware, pinopromote na ng government and ng Department of Agriculture yung rabbit meat for consumption. So yan, we took the risk, pinasok namin yung business na to just last 2020 and ano naman, okay pa naman kami so far. Ayan. So enough of about myself, guys. Pag-usapan na natin ngayon yung main topic natin, which is basics of saving, budgeting, and investing. Ayan. So, ayan. Grabe, totoo ba to? 623 people are watching. Shout out, guys. I can see your comments, guys. So, keep them coming. Sobrang nakakatuwa na mabasa yung comments niyo from YouTube. Ayan. So, pag-usapan na natin yung topic natin, guys. Regardless, no, if you are a student, maraming estudyante dito, nakikita ko sa live chat natin sa YouTube. If you are a student, you are a fresh grad, a working professional, a business owner, I'm sure may matututunan po kayo. My ultimate goal for this afternoon is to give value to each and every one of you. Hindi ko po sasayangin yung oras nyo, guys. I will make sure na worth it yung oras na inalot natin for this afternoon. So, let's just jump right to it. Let's talk about saving. Okay, so if I will be asking all of you, the 615 people who are watching right now, if I will be asking, are you familiar with the term saving? Most probably, no, lahat kayo magsasabi ng yes, correct? Tama ba? Lahat ba familiar na sa saving? Yes, no? Kasi alam na natin to eh. I mean, saving by definition, no? It's the process of setting aside a portion of your money, of your income for future use. Or AKA, saving is also pag-iipon. Di ba? But if I ask another question, pagtanungin ko nga, lahat ba ng tao nakakapag-save? What do you think, guys? Lahat ba ng tao nakakapag-save? Most probably no, or maybe some of you will say no. And the question that I want to ask all of us is, why do people fail to save? Di ba? Actually, ang dali lang naman ang concept ng pag-save. Simple-simple lang ng pag-iipon. But why do people, or most people, fail in that aspect? Now, I came up with 4 reasons, no, common reasons why people fail to save. And maybe, baka yung iba sa atin dito makarelate. First is lack of knowledge or guidance. Yung gusto mo naman mag-save pero you just don't know where to start or how to do it properly. Yung hindi ka naman kasi naturuan sa school about financial literacy. You're not really that familiar on how you can manage your finances intentionally para makapag-save ka consistently. So maybe some of us lack knowledge or guidance. Tama ba ako? Yun. So, another reason is may guidance ka naman, may knowledge ka, but you lack self-control. Maybe some of us, di ba? I mean, ito yung marupok tayo, hindi lang sa pag-ibig, but also in terms of online shopping. Whenever we receive our salaries every month, nagpaparamdam si Lazada, si Shopee, di ba? Minsan mag-notify pa yan sa cellphone natin na may sale, and ano nangyayari? Di ba? Minsan bumibigay kagad tayo. And I'm not saying na mali ang pag-online shopping. I'm just saying na if dumating sa point na nawawalan ka ng self-control and you are spending more than what you earn, doon tayo nagkakaroon ng problem. Alright? So, maybe yung iba sa atin, lack of self-control. Kaya hindi tayo nakakapag-save. And sabi nga dito sa meme na to, no, I need to save, I need to start saving this month. Pero, ang nangyari, every month and ang dami mo pa rin ginastos. Or, maybe, some of us, di ba, sasabihin natin, I really need to start saving money. But, may isang nag-aya lang na friend mo, wanna go out to eat? Biglang, boom. Bumibigay ka na kagad, absolutely. Gusto mo na kagad sumama. Diba? Talagang isa to, sino dito nakaka-relate sa ganitong attitude, no? And no judgment kasi at some point, I also experienced this. Ayun. So, another reason why people fail to save is lack of conviction. What do I mean by this? For example, no, yung isang tao kaya ayaw niya mag-save kasi in the first place, maybe, hindi niya naman gusto. Maybe this person doesn't see the need to save. Maybe he was born in a rich family, lumaki siya na nakukuha niya lahat ng gusto niya. I mean, yung pera, madali lang naman para sa kanya. So, I mean, for this person, bakit ko kailangan mag-save? Isang snap lang naman, may pera kagad ako from my parents. That's why hindi nagsisave. Ayan. So, and last but not the least, if meron ka namang knowledge, if you have the guidance, you have self-control, you have conviction, but maybe some of us fail to save just because kulang yung income natin. Tama ba ako? Maybe some of us really lack income. Sabi nga dito, when you enter an Adidas shop and you see your salary written on a pair of shoes, kasi alam naman natin guys, di ba, may mga napakamahal na mga sapatos dyan, umaabot ng 15 to 20,000. Diba? Iyak ka na lang eh. Because yung income mo, maliit lang. Yan. So regardless guys of the reason kung bakit hindi ka nakakapag-save, regardless if you lack knowledge or guidance, self-control, conviction, or income, the good news is this webinar is really to help those who are struggling in managing their finances. Yun. So don't feel bad guys kasi ako mismo, when I was starting, mga early years ko sa pagtatrabaho, I also went through the same struggle. So before I had no savings, I had no emergency fund. I literally spent every peso that I earned. And yung credit card bills ko, grabe, tuloy-tuloy lang every month. Hindi na natapos kasi swipe dyan, swipe doon, never-ending swipe ang credit card. So it came to a point na problema na ako sa finances ko, na-stress ako. Kasi feeling ko, ilang years na ako nag-work. How come wala pa akong nasi-save? Di ba? Nagawa ko pa nga magpa-photoshoot di ba? Ang time na problema ako sa savings. Yun. Pero kidding aside, di ba? If you are this person who's been struggling to save consistently, don't feel bad because kaya ka nga nandito para matuto. Okay? So, ayan, nakakatuwa na ang dami talaga nagchat sa live chat natin, no? So, ayan. Let me share with you the top 5 basic tips na pwede kong mabigay sa inyo guys for you to be able to develop a good saving habits. So, sa mga experts na sa personal finance, I hope may matutunan pa rin kayo. But for the students, as early as now, sana let's put it into our hearts and minds para huwag na kayong matulad sa amin na nagkamali. No? I mean, I hope you'll be able to apply all the learnings that you will receive for this afternoon. So let's talk about some tips on how we can save intentionally. Okay? So first is tip number 1, set your goals. So ano ibig sabihin nito? Why? Bakit ang unang tip mo, Charles, sa amin is pagsaset ng goals? Because in the first place, if you don't have a goal, you won't have a sense of direction. Do you agree? Pag wala kang destination, sabog-sabog. I mean, kaya ka pala hindi nagsisave Kasi in the first place, wala kang pinag-iipunan. Correct? And your goals should be smart. Hindi yan basta-basta goals lang. Your goals should be specific, it should be measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Ano ibig sabihin nun? For example, may nag-set ng goal. Sinabi, gusto ko lang yumaman. I mean, smart ba yung goal na yan? Hindi. Why? Because it's not specific. Diba? Pag gusto mong, what do you mean by gusto mong yumaman? It should be measurable. It should be specific. Ibig sabihin nito, I want to be able to buy a house, to buy my own car, to provide for my family. So pag sinabi mong ganun, how much money are you talking about? I mean, di ba? I mean, kailangan measurable. Kailan mo yan kailangan yung pera na yan? It should be realistic. It should be achievable. It should be relevant. So, in terms of time horizon, meron tayong 3. We have short-term goals, medium-term goals, and long-term goals. So, bigyan ko kayo ng sample, guys, for me to be able to guide, especially the talagang people who are not yet that familiar with saving, budgeting, and investing. No? So, in setting your goals, punta muna tayo sa short-term. Short-term goals are goals that you want to achieve within the first 12 months. Okay? Within the next 12 months, rather. So, for example, this year, ang sinet mong short-term goal, I want to be able to finish setting up my emergency fund. Okay? Ano ba yung emergency fund? Okay? Yung fund na yan, yung sineset aside natin, no? Just in case may biglaan or may emergency na expenses. For example, bigla ka na wala ng work. Or yung car na dinadrive mo, biglang nabangga, kailangan mong pagawa. Yung iPad mo, biglang bumagsak, nasira yung screen. I mean, saan ka kukuha ng pondo for that? Dun sa emergency fund. Yung mga emergency, yung mga urgent na kailangan mong bayaran. So, one short-term goal na you can set is setting your emergency fund. Another goal, maybe some of you, goal to na I want to buy that latest gadget. I want to buy a new pair of shoes or the latest bag na na-release ng ganitong brand. Diba? It's up to you. Basta, yan yung mga short-term goals. Gusto mo ma-achieve within 12 months. Next are medium-term goals. These are the goals that you want to achieve in the next 5 years. So, for example, you want to get married, di ba? How much money are we talking about? What type of wedding ang gusto mo? Di ba? I mean, magkano? Saan mo gusto ikasal? Dapat as early as now, na medyo kahit paano na foresee mo na yun para na pag-iipunan mo as early as now. Or if you want to buy your own house or your condo, magkano? Saan? 'Di ba? I mean, dapat pinag-iisipan na natin as early as now para mapag-ipunan natin ng maayos. Correct? Okay, so long-term goals are goals beyond 5 years. So for example, you want to be able to buy eventually your own car or second-hand car, 'di ba? Magkano? Again, magkano? Kailan mo kailangan? Bakit mo kailangan? You have to think twice, thrice before mo actually bilhin. Okay? So far, so good, guys. Again, tip number 1, you should set your goals. You should have a clear vision kung saan ka papunta in the next 5 to 10 years para mapaghandaan mo ng mabuti. Okay? Tip number 2, now that you already have a goal, the next thing to do is to manage your cash flow. Okay, huwag tayo ma-intimidate sa term na yun, ha? Ano ba yung cash flow? Cash flow measures your cash inflow or the money you earn and your cash outflow, the money you spend. Ang ultimate goal lang natin sa cash flow is to know whether we have a positive or negative net cash flow. It's really about, simply to say, it's really about tracking your income and expenses intentionally. So, ask ko nga guys, meron ba dito yung sobrang, ano na talaga, as early as kahit student, nagtatrack na ng expenses nila? Meron bang ganun kagaling dito? Kasi ako, when I was a student, I wasn't really tracking my cash flow intentionally. Just a few years back, tsaka ako lang talaga nag-decide na I want to make a change in the way I handle my finances. Kailangan ko na talaga maging intentional. Yun. So, how do you track your income and expenses? Basically, you just have to list them. So, for example, may income ka, lista mo lang lahat ng sources of income mo. Sana, no, marami tayong sources of income para maraming pumapasok. And you also have to list your expenses. Yung expenses natin, meron tayong needs. We also have wants. Yung needs can be further categorized into fixed and variable. So, bigyan ko kayo ng sample, guys. So, fixed are yung talagang every month, yaan yung fixed na amount na lumalabas sa pocket natin because automatic na yan eh. Given na yan. Ang variable, yan yung mga pabago-bago from time to time. Okay? And of course, our wants. Yung mga luho natin, yung mga pa-shopping-shopping natin, no? Those are our wants. Now, ang goal natin sa tip number 2 is to compute for our net cash flow. How do you do that? Simple math lang. Subtract lang natin, no? So, income minus expenses. I-check natin ngayon if we have a positive or negative net cash flow. So, Charles, okay, chinek ko na. Okay? Chinek ko na. Nilagay ko na yung expenses ko, yung income ko, and boom, pagtingin ko, negative, Charles, negative. Ano ibig sabihin nun? If you have a negative net cash flow, it simply means you have an unhealthy cash flow. It only means you're not able to save on a monthly basis or umuutang po tayo. We are acquiring debts, maybe sa credit card or umuutang tayo sa iba. If you have a positive net cash flow, better, a lot better yon, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you are doing a good job. Kasi kailangan mo muna i-check gaano ba kalaki yung natitira. Kasi remember, hindi pa natin pinag-uusapan ng saving, guys, ha? Wala pang savings dito. Expenses pa lang, tsaka income, no? Check mo na yung net cash flow mo. Pag positive, for example, you already have a positive net cash flow, pero 100 pesos lang per month. So, malaki ba yun o maliit? Of course, maliit yun, di ba? Hindi pa rin good. So, again, guys, tip number 2, check your cash flow. Tignan nyo kung positive or negative ang cash flow nyo. Okay, I hope you're taking notes. I hope you're learning kahit na very basic lang yung tinuturo ko. Okay, so tip number 3. Ngayon na meron ka ng goal, at the same time, you already manage your cash flow, natatrack mo na ngayon, it's time to create a budget. Okay, so let's talk about budgeting. Sobrang importante ng budgeting, guys. If you don't have a budget, hindi ko sure kung posible ang magkaroon ka ng maayos na personal finance. But for example, sa pag-ibig, no, when it comes to love or when it comes to choosing our lifetime partner, di ba meron tayong set of standards? Narinig niyo na ba yung non-negotiables? Ano yung non-negotiables mo in choosing a lifetime partner? Gusto ko pogi, gusto ko malambing, gusto ko family-oriented, gusto ko stable. Di ba? We have these standards, no? Because ano tayo, I mean, gusto natin quality or excellent yung pipili nating lifetime partner. When it comes to our finances, ganun din po. We have this set of standards that we need to follow. And ano yung set of standards na yun? Yun po yung budget. The budget will be the one telling us na, oops, Charles, wait lang. Kahit may sale, pero according to your budget, hindi mo na afford this month. So wait for the next cut-off of your salary. So huwag ka munang gumastos. According to your budget, hindi mo na afford. Okay? A budget is a spending plan based on income and expenses. It's an estimate of how much money you'll make and spend over a certain period of time. So, for those who are still not that experienced sa pagbabudget, nagbigay ako ng very simple sample. So, ang common na pwede mo makita sa internet if you search budget, lalabas to for sure. The 50-20-30 budget rule. So, ano ba ibig sabihin nito? So, if you want to start to create your budget and you don't know how you will start, you can follow this budget rule. So the 50-20-30 budget rule. Paano ba to? For example, you have a net income of 20,000. Sample lang para mabilis lang yung math natin. If you have a net income of 20,000, how will you allocate it? 50-20-30. Allocate mo 50% to your needs, that's 10,000. Allocate 20% to your savings and 30% to your wants. Yan, 'di ba sabi nga nila, start small. Huwag mo naman biglain na malakihan kaagad yung isi-save mo pag hindi ka pa sanay. You can start with small amounts and then from there, pag nasasanay na may habit ka na, that's the time na i-improve mo na yung budget rule mo. There's no ultimate or absolute budget rule. It's really up to you. It depends on your situation. It depends on your preference, on your or on your attitude towards saving. But ang importante, meron kang budget rule. Ako mismo, I over the years, I tried improving my budget rule. Right now, I'm into 40-40-20. So, for example, may net income ka na 20,000, you allocate 40% sa needs mo, especially pag wala ka pa namang family, single ka pa, wala ka masyadong ginagastosan, allocate lesser amount sa needs mo, more amount sa savings, 40% din sa savings, and only 20% to your wants. Yun. So again, hindi po absolute rule to. It depends on you. The point is, makapag-set ka ng budget rule for yourself. So are you learning so far, guys? Are you learning so far? I hope yes. Grabe, 724 na ang nanonood sa YouTube live natin. So shout out sa lahat ng nanonood dyan. I hope you're learning. Ayan. So, ngayon, ang attitude. Let's talk about our attitude. Whenever we receive income or money, di ba? Ano yung common na response natin? Usually, ang ginagawa ng mga Pilipino, ng mga tao, whenever we receive salary, we spend. And whatever is left, we save. Correct? Ganyan tayo eh. And dahil dyan, ang nangyayari, most of the time, wala po tayo nasa-save or we are not able to save consistently. Minsan negative, minsan konti lang ang nasa-save. Kasi inuuna natin ang expenses. Now, the right mindset, the right formula should be this one. Income minus savings equals expenses. So, pag na-receive mo yung monthly salary mo, automatic allocate a certain portion to your savings, wag mo nang galawin. Stick to your budget. If you don't stick to your budget, it doesn't make sense. Ba't ka pa gumawa ng standard kung hindi mo naman susundan? Correct. So, allocate agad a certain amount, depende sa budget rule mo, and then whatever is left, yun ang isa-save, ang isa-spend mo. Okay? So, that's the right formula from now on. Lagay na natin yan sa heart and mind natin. So, always remember to pay yourself first. Okay? Kasi deserve mo yun. Pinagtrabahuhan mo yun eh. Kailangan para sa future mo, may tinatabi ka. Okay, so when I was starting to discipline myself in terms of budgeting, tracking my income and expenses, I tried using an app. And to some of us, baka alam na natin tong app na to, but sa mga hindi pa aware, you can use a budget tracking app. Itong Money Lover app, it's available for free sa app stores, whether Android ka or iOS yung phone mo, pwede mo i-download to. And it's very user-friendly. It's very easy to use. You can, you can put your income and expenses on a daily basis. And even yung per month, pwede mong ma-view. And you can actually look at your whole parang spending habits in one picture. So parang ganito, ganyan, para makikita mo, malakas pala ako gumastos sa ganitong item or sa ganitong category. Okay. Okay. Ganun, 'di ba? Makikita mo kaagad. So, I also saw some other budget tracking apps in the internet. So, thank you Sustainable Finance page for this. You can also try exploring other budget tracking apps. For example, yung Wallet, Money, Moneyfy, and the like. Marami pa dyan, guys. You just have to research and try to explore whatever works for you. Kasi hindi naman lahat money lover ang effective sa kanila. It depends. So, yan yung ginagamit ko nung nagsa-start pa lang ako. But right now, I'm actually using a personalized budget spreadsheet. Yon. So, ako, para sa akin, ito yung the one. Ito talaga yung natumulong para makamit ko ang aking ano no, ang mga hindi naman pangarap, pero this really helped me change the way I handle my finances because mas naging intentional talaga ako when I started using a spreadsheet. So, sa mga gumagamit na ng spreadsheet dyan, type nyo naman spreadsheet sa live chat box natin para makita ko kung may iba pang gumagamit nito. But simple lang din, you log lang yung mga cash inflow, tapos cash outflow, tapos yung balance automatic nagko-compute yan. Tinakpan ko lang guys. And then remarks yung kung anong item yun. And then of course yung amounts, yung mga budget na sineset mo. I can this is actually part of my work. Tinuturo ko to sa mga clients ko. I conduct money management sessions with my clients. I teach them how to use this personal spreadsheet. And so if you are interested, you can also reach out to me. We can set a one-on-one coaching session. Pwede ko kayong turuan, guys. And I can also send via email no a sample template of the budget spreadsheet that I use for you guys. Ayan. So, tip number 4, again, review lang tayo. Tip number 1, set your goals. Tip number 2, monitor your cash flow or manage your cash flow. Tip number 3, create a budget. And number 4, okay, ngayon meron ka ng budget, meron ka na ring, na-monitor mo na yung cash flow mo, you have to ask yourself, in sync ba sila? I mean, based on my budget, kamusta yung cash flow ko? Sumusunod ba yung cash flow ko sa budget ko? If not, then you have to make the necessary adjustments. So you have to be willing to adjust your lifestyle, guys. So yan po yung point ng tip number 4 natin. Okay? So, how do you do that? Okay? Ayan, ang daming, medyo delay lang pala yung live chat natin, pero ayan, nakibabasa ko yung mga comments nyo, guys. So, how do you do that? How do you adjust? You have to know your problem areas. Saan ka ba marupok? So, saan ka ba magastos? Diba? I mean, ay, ang nagastos ko pala sa Food Panda. Ang lakas ko mag-grab, express ng food. Diba? I mean, you have to know your problem areas. Okay? And then, you also have to know your priorities. In the world of personal finance, alam nyo ba guys yung set of priorities? Sabi nila, you have to prioritize settling your high-interest debts. Ito yung mga utang na malalaki ang interest. Kailangan mo talagang unahin yan isettle. Because if not, kakainin lang yan ang savings mo. Diba? So, high-interest debts, and then savings, needs, tas last ang wants. So guys, you have two options. Paano ka mag-a-adjust? Diba? How will you adjust? Number 1, either you minimize your expenses. So I have this client, sabi niya sa akin, Charles, I'm earning 40,000+ a month. But I don't know how to save. Hindi ako nakakapag-ipon. Sabi ko, 40,000 naman, hindi ka nakakapag-ipon kahit konti. Hindi daw. Sabi ko, let us check your cash flow. Upon checking the cash flow of this client, nakita ko, grabe kaya naman pala. Sobrang lakas niya mag-milk tea. Sobrang lakas niya mag-Starbucks. Every week, may movie date siya. Meron siyang lunch out and dinner outs with friends. Kaya naman pala, sobrang gastos mo. Sabi ko, here's what we can do. Let's try to cut out some of your expenses. Bawasan natin. Yung mga 3 times a week mo na Starbucks, baka pwedeng Nescafe na lang or sige, once a week na lang na Starbucks. Diba? Yung 3 times a week mo na milk tea, bawasan natin. So you have to really be willing to sacrifice some of your wants para magkaroon ka ng mas magandang cash flow. But, okay, Charles, what if sagad na? Wala na akong mabawas, wala na akong ma-cut off. Paano na? You go for option 2. Maybe it's time to tell yourself to increase your income. Okay? Maybe kailangan mo nang taasin yung sources of income mo. For example, kanina, I told you guys my father got diagnosed with cancer. That's why I decided to look for a second source of income because based dun sa income ko, sabi ko, hindi uubra to. I also have my own dreams, my own goals. And if kailangan kong tumulong sa chemotherapy treatments ng dad ko, and at the same time, I want to save for for my future goals, my own dreams, hindi uubra, hindi aabot. So I have to look for a second source of income. And ngayon guys, parang uso na talaga ang second source of income, right? Parang kokonti na lang yung may single source of income eh. And if you are someone who haven't thought of looking for a second source of income, pwede ka naman magsimula sa passion mo eh. For example, if you love cooking, baking, you can try selling stuff online, 'di ba? Ang dami ng opportunities ngayon. If you are good in technology or magaling ka mag-design, 'di ba? Kahit Canva lang yung gamit mo pero creative ka, you can actually make a living out of it. 'Di ba? Marami na ngayon yung nagbabayad, willing to pay for people who are good in creating those art cards or mga video editing ganun. So you just need to really step up and challenge yourself. Na okay, this year it's all about increasing my income. Challenge yourself, 'di ba? So again, tip number 4, be willing to make some adjustments. Either minimize your expenses or increase your income. Are you learning so far? Yan. So paka-type naman sa live chat, learning if you're learning so far. Kasi medyo delay yung nababasa ko sa chat box eh. Okay, so if you're learning so far, type learning sa chat box natin. Ayan. So tip number 5 is learn from experts or never stop learning. Due to limited time, guys, hindi ko kayang ituro lahat sa inyo. So I really encourage you to do your own research. If you are a fan of Netflix, mahilig kang manood, isama mo na sa agenda mo every day kahit 1 to 2 value-adding videos. Here are some of the people that I follow in YouTube. Sila Chinkitan, Miss Thea Bautista, Nicole Alba, and si Charm De Leon of Ready to Adult PH. Every time na nagla-lunch ako or before matulog or as I wake up in the morning, minsan I watched 1 to 2 videos about personal finance just to add value to myself. Para lang ma-refresh ako na, okay, may natututunan ako everyday. Okay? So, huwag tayo puro Netflix lang, guys. Huwag tayo puro K-drama, ha? Sa mga K-drama fans dyan, shout out din sa inyo. Yan. So, aside from that, you can also join Facebook groups. So, here are some of the groups na I myself am part of. So, Financial Literacy PH, Bright Millennials, and Ready to Adult PH. Yan yung mga community na talagang pwede mong salihan, no? And very fruitful ang conversations. Diyan marami kayong matututunan, guys. Ayan. So, ayan. To summarize yung saving tips natin, again, set your goals, not just goals. You have to be smart. Diba? Manage your cash flow, track your income and expenses, create a budget and stick to it. Be willing to make some adjustments and never stop learning. Learn from experts. Okay? So ngayon, Charles, okay, now that you have given some tips on how we can save intentionally, saan ba pwedeng ilagay ang savings? Alam natin guys, di ba, that sobrang sikat na na traditional banks. Saan ba nilalagay ang pera? Sa bangko. Di ba? So ano yung mga sikat na yan? BDO, Metrobank, BPI, those are the traditional banks that we know. So ngayon, lately, for the past 3 to 5 years, medyo umuuso na po. Lalo na nung nag-pandemic, umuuso na ang digital banking or digital banks. So, anong pinagkaiba nila sa traditional banks? So, digital banks offer much higher interest rates than traditional banks. So, for example, nag-store ka ng savings mo sa traditional bank, ang bigay lang yan less than 1%, correct? But if you store your money in digital banks, magbibigay yan ng much higher interest rates. More than 1%. Ayan, so for example, si GSave, at least 2.5% interest rate per annum. And minsan may iba pa mas malaki. Yun. So ako, I myself, recently, I decided to transfer a huge amount of my portfolio or of my savings, of my emergency fund sa digital banks. Actually, yung payroll ko kasi sa BPI, pero ang ginagawa ko every time na nakaka-receive ako ng monthly paycheck, immediately tina-transfer ko kagad sa CIMB, sa ING. So if you're already using digital banks, type naman digital, okay, sa live chat natin if user ka na ng digital bank. Kasi so ako mismo, guys, before ako nag-decide na mag-transfer ng huge amount ng pera ko sa digital banks, kinakabahan din ako nung una. I mean, sigurado ba na to? Ang daming scam ngayon, ang daming hackers ngayon. I mean, etong mga banks na to, PDIC insured to, guys. So ano naman siya, safe siya. So if you're still hesitant, hindi ka masyadong familiar, you can do your own research naman. Yun. So, okay? So, inano ko lang yan. And thank you to the Peso Builder for the art cards kasi ginrab ko lang itong mga photos na to online. Okay? And another savings program that you can try to consider is the MP2, the Modified Pag-ibig 2. I'm sure aware na rin kayo dito, naririnig-rinig nyo na to. If you want a savings platform na mas higher ang interest rate than, for example, GSave, you can try considering MP2. Kasi sa MP2, usually mga 5 to 8% ang rate na binibigay niyan and wala pang tax yan, guys. Walang tax ang MP2. But you just have to wait for 5 years. Meron siyang twist, no? May 5-year lock-in period lang siya. And you must be an active Pag-ibig member. So if you are a student, pwede ka bang mag-MP2? Pwede. You just have to register online. Kailangan mo muna mag-make ng Pag-ibig contributions muna before pwede ka mag-open ng MP2. So here are some of the historical rates, no, ng MP2 natin for the past 10 years. Makita nyo dito. I grabbed this from mismo sa pag-ibig.gov na website. Yan. So yan yung mga rates. Diba? Ang lalaki din. Sayang. So if you will be just parking your emergency fund sa traditional banks, you might want to make use of other options like MP2 or mga digital banks natin, guys. Okay? So, tapos na. Ayan. It's okay, time check. And may oras pa naman tayo. Let's talk about investing. Okay? Disclaimer, guys, I am not the expert when it comes to investing. Hindi ako tulad nila Randall Tiongso, nila Marvin Hermo na sobrang gagaling na when it comes to investing. But as promised, I will be giving what I can give to all of you to add value. No? Sana may matutunan kayo. And here are some of the basic things that you need to know if you want to invest. So investing, ano ba to? Ano bang pinagkaiba niya sa saving? Saving is all about allocating money for future use. Nag-iipon lang tayo, correct? But investing is allocating your money with an expectation of generating income. Gusto mong kumita, gusto mong lumaki yung pera mo, yun ang investment. Okay? But there's a catch. Okay? Ang investment, laging may risk involved. Okay? Meron tayong risk na pwedeng mag-lose tayo ng money. Okay? The higher the risk, the higher the return. Okay? Ngayon, here are some questions that you can ask yourself before ka mag-invest, or in fact, kapag naka-invest ka na for quite some time, pwede mo pa rin tanong sa sarili mo to. Ask yourself, am I doing it right? Okay? So here are some 7 questions to ask yourself before investing. Number 1, to strict ako dito, guys. I always teach my clients this very important thing. Am I done setting up my emergency and protection fund already? Before ka mag-invest, tanong mo muna sa sarili mo, tapos na ba ako sa emergency fund and protection fund ko? What do I mean by this? Let me share with you a very important principle when it comes to personal finance. Meron tayong tinatawag, guys, na financial planning pyramid. Hindi to pyramid scam, guys, ha? Okay? This is a financial planning pyramid. It's a science, no? It's a principle that we all need to follow. Hindi ko to gawa-gawa, guys. Pag chinek nyo to sa Google, lalabas to. Okay? So, financial planning pyramid tells us kung ano yung dapat nating unahin na goal in terms of our finances. Kumbaga, let's imagine we're building a house. 'Di ba? Pagka gumagawa ka ng bahay, 'di ba, ang inuuna natin yung foundation. Hindi naman agad-agad rooftop 'di ba? Because you need to have a solid foundation para pag lumindol, nagka-earthquake, nagkaroon ng mga calamities, hindi ka agad guguho yung bahay mo. Same with our personal finance. Hindi pwedeng weak ang foundation because if weak ang foundation, mabilis tayong guguho. Okay? So, ano ba according to the financial planning pyramid, ano ba ang foundation? It's wealth protection. So, yung second kasi natin is wealth accumulation. Ayan, guys, second level is wealth accumulation. The common mistakes of people, nagja-jump agad sila sa second level. Even without the first level. This is the very common mistake of my clients. Dami ko na nakakausap, dami na nilang investment without securing their wealth protection. So, balik muna tayo sa wealth protection. Ano ba to? So, wealth protection is about emergency fund, life insurance, health insurance, and debt reduction. So, emergency fund, alam na natin yung purpose niyan for emergency. Diba? Life insurance, for example, may breadwinner, namatay yung breadwinner. If meron siyang life insurance, the company will now pay a lump sum amount to the bereaved family, yung mga namatayan, and to sustain the lifestyle para hindi ma-sacrifice yung lifestyle nila. Health insurance naman, if nagkasakit ng isang tao, meron siyang automatic na panggamot, pang-treatment. Okay? So, let's just say, hindi ka nag-set up ng emergency fund, ng life insurance, health insurance mo. Wala kang savings at all. You immediately jump to wealth accumulation. Nag-level 2 ka agad, excited ka eh. Di ba? Gusto mo kaagad, lumago ang pera mo. Ano mangyayari? Okay? For example, you're into stocks. Later, I will expound on this. Pero, kunyari, naka-invest ka na. Wala kang wealth protection. Biglang nagkasakit ka. Okay? Ako mismo, guys, but ito yung example ko because I myself experienced this. As young as 25 years old, few years ago, I was diagnosed, nagkaroon ako ng cyst sa throat and I got operated. Okay, as young as 25, na-operahan po ako sa throat. Okay, and yung initial diagnosis, sabi ng doctor ko, sabi ng ENT doctor, 200,000 pesos ang cost nung operation na yun. At that time, walang iya, 200K, savings ko na yun, buong savings ko yun. I mean, mawawipe out lang ng ganun-ganun. So what if, di ba, nagkasakit ka? Hindi ko sinasabing sure mangyayari, but what if? And wala kang wealth protection. You will be forced to liquidate your investments, correct? For example, naka-invest ka sa stocks, sa crypto, or kung ano man yung investment mo, no? And then, kailangan mo ng lump sum amount of money. You will be forced to liquidate your investments. Okay? Eh what if down yung market? Lugi ka yun, yung market, no? I mean, yung pinasok mong funds down, may paper loss ka. You will be forced na malugi. Actual loss na yun. I-withdraw mo ngayon yan kahit nalugi ka because kailangan mo na pambayad sa ospital, kailangan mo ng panggamot. Pwede mo bang sabihin sa doctor, Doc, can we wait for the market to recover before I pay my hospital bills? Or before I pay you? You can't do that. You can't say that to your doctor. Diba? Because it doesn't work that way. But it's very important for you to secure muna yung wealth protection mo. It's important to protect your income before you decide to accumulate your income. Okay? And the last level is yung wealth distribution or wealth transfer. Diyan na yung how will you be able to transfer your assets to your heirs without the government eating your assets. Kasi may estate tax na tinatawag. Sa ibang topic yun, guys. Pero yun, the point is, before you invest, ask yourself, am I done setting up my emergency and protection fund already? Because if hindi pa, i-set up mo muna yan. Yan. So, okay, next, for example, na-set up mo na or sineset up mo na ngayon, no? Next question to ask yourself, how much money do I want to invest? So, guys, common mistakes ng mga tao, ini-invest nila buong pera nila, buong salary nila. So, pag nalugi sa market, nalugi sa investment, iiyak, di ba, mamadepress. Sabi nila, there's one principle in investment, no, na we only invest the amount that we can afford to lose. Never invest your whole salary or yung buong savings mo. Wag mong gagawin yun. Because again, sa investment may risk. You only invest the amount that you can afford to lose. Okay? So I always tell my clients to invest only their excess funds. Next is, you also have to ask yourself, what is my risk appetite? Matakaw ka ba sa risk? In terms, for example, rate yourself 1 to 10. 1 being the most conservative, yung pinakaayaw mo ng risk, takot ka sa lugi. Or 10 being the most aggressive naman, okay lang. Kaya ko, I can take risks, di ba? So, there are certain investments kasi na para sa mga aggressive lang. For example, you are an aggressive investor. Then pwede ka sa cryptocurrency, pwede ka sa stock investing kasi volatile dun. Hindi ka atakiin kapag biglang bumagsak yung pera mo. 'Di ba? Hindi ka maggugulat or mase-stress kapag bumaba yung value or bumaba yung price. 'Di ba? Yung investment mo. So you have to ask yourself, am I rate 1 to 10? From 1 to 10, gaano ko ka-aggressive? Kamusta yung risk appetite ko? Next, is this for long term or short term? So, you also have to know your time horizon. Kasi for example, nag-invest ka. Sinabi mo sa sarili mo for long term to. Okay, Charles, for long term investment to. And then ngayon, chinek mo ngayon. Chinek mo, for example, nagpasok ka ng pera, 100,000 pinasok mo. The next day, chinek mo, yung 100,000 mo, bumaba, naging 80,000 na lang. Na-stress ka ngayon, gusto mo na i-pull out. So, if alam mo, yung time horizon mo, hindi, wait lang. I told myself in the first place, long-term pala tong investment na to. Then, hindi dapat ako ma-stress kasi eventually, the market will recover. At some point, hindi ko naman kailangan to i-withdraw. I will wait. I will hold my investment. Gets? So, you need to be, you need to orient yourself lang. Kung is this for long-term or short-term? Kasi there are also short-term investors, yung active na mag-trade. yung buy and sell every day, binabantayan yung market, you can also do that if you're that type of investor. Okay? Next question to ask yourself is how frequent will you do this? So yung iba kasi yearly nag-a-add, yung iba every 6 months, every month, it's up to you. But the point is you have to be consistent. Next, what are my options? So yung options, dito na yung iba-ibang investment options natin that I will be discussing on the next slide. And last but not the least, have I done enough research? Another common mistakes of people, guys, is, di ba, parang nadadala tayo ng hype. Yung porket yung kabarkada mo may ganyan, gusto mo rin, even hindi mo pa naiintindihan. Di ba? So if of course your friend invites you or encourages you to invest in a certain investment, wag ka kagad oo. I mean kahit na pinagkakatiwalaan mo yung kaibigan mo, try to do your own research para hindi mo siya sisihin, no? Pag naluging investment, ikaw kasi, sabi mo kasi mag-invest ako ng 100,000 dito eh. 'Di ba? Walang ganun. You are responsible sa sarili mong finances. Don't blame others. So you have to really do your own research. Okay? So here are some of the investment options na in-include ko. Marami pa guys, pero yung iba kasi more on hindi na siya, kumbaga mas complicated na siya. So here are just some of the common investment options that we can consider. And again guys, hindi po ako expert. Hindi po ako fund manager, hindi po ako trader. But I will just give an overview of these options. No? So let's talk about stocks. I hope I still have time. Ayan, 4:50 na. So ayan, ano lang natin, medyo bilisan natin. So stock market, ano ba to? Pag nag-invest ako sa stocks, ano ba ibig sabihin yan? If you invest in stock market, ibig sabihin lang yan, you are buying shares of stock of a certain company. For example, nag-invest ka sa BPI or sa BDO, sa Jollibee, sa Ayala, sa BLDT, kung ano man yung mga listed sa stock market, nag-invest ka doon. You are becoming a part owner. Diba? Ngayon, pagka, kunyari, binili mo, kunyari lang ha, may isang company, 1 peso per share. So, bumili ka ngayon ng shares. Part owner ka na. Eh ngayon, kumita yan, gumanda yung performance ng company, tumaas ngayon yung value nung price nila per share. Naging 100 pesos yung price per share. Ngayon, pwede mo na ibenta yung shares mo, kikita ka na malaki. So that's how the stock market works. It's really about buying shares, nagiging part owner ka. And medyo, aggressive type of investing to kasi very volatile ang market. Daming factors guys, ang daming factors na pwedeng mag-affect sa performance ng mga companies listed in the market. Mga news natin, 'di ba? Yung mga current events and other stuff pwede mag-affect. Very volatile, risky to. So if you are an aggressive type of investor, you might want to consider investing in the stock market. Yun. Pero kailangan mo lang mag-research kasi hindi madali, hindi siya simple. No? Kailangan mo lang, syempre, manood ng news to really be literate when it comes to investing in the stock market. Now, next, let's talk about bonds. Pagdating sa bonds, ano pinagkaiba niya sa stocks? Sa bonds naman, sisimplihan ko lang para magets ninyo guys. You are lending your money to the government or to private companies. Kunyari, kailangan nila ng pondo, 500,000, 1 million, ganyan. You are lending your money and then they will promise you to return your money with a certain interest. For example, hiram with 4% interest. Ganun. Parang ganun ang bonds. Ganun siya nag-work. So, less risky to compared to stocks. So, again, stocks, it's all about buying shares. Bonds, it's about lending your money. Okay? So, next, let's talk about mutual funds. So, mutual funds naman or UITF, narinig nyo ba yung UITF? They're basically the same. Mutual fund or MF, UITF, Unit Investment Trust Fund, they're basically the same. The only difference is that mutual funds are being offered by insurance companies. Okay? While UITFs are being offered by banks. Ganun lang po yung difference nila. Pero ngayon, anong difference ni mutual fund sa stocks? Sa stocks kasi ikaw ang nagde-decide kung anong company bibilin mo. Ikaw ang nagmamanage, ikaw lahat, di ba? Sa mutual fund, if you are not that familiar kung paano mag-invest, mag-trade or stuff, and you want a company to do that work for you, and meron ka lang limited time to monitor, wala kang time to monitor, you can consider trying mutual funds. You can open an account, a mutual fund account. So how does it work? Mag-start yan sa investor. For example, ikaw gusto mo mag-invest. Punta ka sa company na nag-offer ng mutual fund. Mag-invest ako. And this company will pull money from people. Kasi may iba-ibang tao. May malaki ang pondo. May iba 1,000 lang. Yun. So, Pinupull nila yung money na yon hanggang sa maka-form ng malaking amount of money, yun yung ginagamit pang invest with the goal of generating profit. So bakit siya mutual fund? Because the risk involved is now being mutually shared by the investors. Now, pag kumita yung funds, kikita rin yung mga investors. And sa mutual funds, sa maganda dito, depende yan sa risk appetite mo. Papapiliin ka niya. Money market, equity, index, bond fund, depends on your risk appetite. Okay? So, ganyan ang mutual funds, guys. So, next is VUL. Okay? Before po kayo mag-react, sinama ko yung VUL dito kasi this is one of the most controversial topic in the internet. Diba? Ang dami pong naririnig dyan, mga hearsay na nagbabash ng VUL. Because some advisors are telling people na VUL is an investment. Well, to be honest, ako mismo financial advisor ako, VUL, pwede naman siya maging considered as investment, pero hindi talaga siya like investment eh. It is a variable universal life insurance with an investment component. So pag ang isang client, if ikaw gusto mo ng purely investment, huwag ka mag-VUL. Don't buy VUL if purely investment ang hanap mo. Because sa VUL, meron siyang insurance portion. So, ang daming nagagalit. Bakit ganun? Niloko ko ng advisor ko. Sabi sa akin, yung VUL investment, but ang laki ng charges every year. Because hindi na-disclose ng advisor na when it comes to VULs, meron tayong insurance kasi. You are parang 2-in-1 yan eh. Meron kang insurance, you have a protection against uncertainties. You also have investment. Para meron kang living benefit, pwede mong i-withdraw anytime. Diba? As long as kumikita yung investment mo. So again, if you are looking for purely investment, huwag ka mag-VUL. Pero if you want to be protected at the same time, yung hinuhulog mong pera may napupuntahan, pwede ka mag-VUL because it's a combination. Okay? So next is real estate or real estate investment trust. Okay? So alam naman na natin to guys. For example, you have a huge amount of money, bibili ka ng property, pre-selling rate, kunyari 3 million, 5 million. Once na ano na yan, na fully developed na turnover na sa'yo, fully built na yung bahay or yung condo, you can sell it at a higher rate, at a higher amount. Pwede mo rin ipa-rent. Kaya siya naging investment. Kasi mas mura mo nabili, pwede mong ibenta ng mas mahal. And Charles, what if wala akong fund, wala akong enough capital for me to be able to buy a property? You can consider investing in REITs or real estate investment trust. So yan, parang mutual fund lang yan, guys. In the aspect of real estate naman. Pinupull ng company yung funds ng investors, and pag napuno na, pambibili ng isang property, and then yung property, ipaparent, once na nagkaroon ng income yun, i-distribute ngayon sa mga investors. That's how REITs work. Okay? So, I hope na may natutunan so far. Okay? So, ayan. Last but not the least, and kaya ko to nilast kasi ito yung isa sa pinaka-bago or pinaka-hype na investment ngayon. And disclaimer guys, I'm still learning about crypto. Hindi po ako expert. Marami pong mas magagaling na trader dyan sa YouTube. Panoorin na lang natin. But cryptocurrency, ano ba to? Bakit ba siya sobrang hype ngayon? Cryptocurrency is a decentralized digital money. Di ba ngayon yung pera natin, guys, is being regulated by the BSP, the Bangko Sentral of the Philippines. Sila yung technically yung may say, 'di ba? Kung sila rin yung may copy, may parang ultimate ledger sila. Doon naka-record lahat ng transaction na nangyayari sa banking system natin sa Philippines, 'di ba? Yung BSP. Now, yung cryptocurrency, it's a decentralized digital money. Hindi siya regulated by any government. Yun yung tinatawag nilang blockchain technology. Guys, medyo complicated siya i-explain, but it's a currency na digital na parang stocks lang din, bibili ka, may certain value siya, and very volatile. Ang daming experts nagsasabi na parang up until now, hindi nila actually alam no, kung ano ba talaga yung mga factors na nag-i-influence sa paggalaw ng value ng crypto. Of course, yung news, of course, no. Most businessmen right now are into crypto, investing in cryptocurrency, kaya lumalaki na rin yung value. In fact, these are some of the top cryptocurrency that we have right now. Of course, yung Bitcoin, yung isa na sa pinaka-sikat ngayon, ang laki na rin ng value niyan. It started back in 2009. So if ikaw, isa ka sa mga nag-invest sa Bitcoin few years ago, ngayon, nakita mo na yung value ng Bitcoin, napakataas na. Talagang mayayaman na yung mga unang naniwala sa Bitcoin. Some people are saying na cryptocurrency is the future of finance. Pero ako mismo, syempre, I'm still doing my research. Nag-try lang ako magpasok ng small amount of my portfolio sa cryptocurrency just few months ago kasi gusto ko rin syempre ma-experience to. Gusto ko rin matuto. So guys, I am not saying na itry nyo to dahil good investment to. I'm just saying na before kayong mag-dive into this, make sure na you did enough research. Sabay-sabay po tayong matuto, guys. Okay? You can diversify naman your portfolio. Meron ka mutual fund, meron ka sa stocks, meron ka sa cryptocurrency, and then you compare. And as you go along, matututunan mo rin naman. Okay? So, as we end, three principles to successful investing, guys, is time, consistency, and compounding. So, time, because the earlier you start, the better. Diba? Kasi, you have more time to accumulate your funds. Consistency naman, sabi ko nga kanina, very important na parang pagsisave lang yan. The more frequent you do it, of course, the more money, the more potential na makakapag-earn ka. And of course, compounding. Once na kumita ka, wag mo kagad i-withdraw lahat kasi hinto ka na. Diba? Use the money that you earn, let it compound para mas lumaki pa yung kita mo. Okay? So, the challenge sa dami kong sinabi ngayon, sana guys, wala pong nakatulog, 819 are watching in YouTube. Shout out, thank you for listening. The challenge for you this afternoon is to apply all the things that you've learned. Sana naman po may natutunan kayo ay may value kayo nakuha from today's session. No? The we end is this. One day or day one. So one day, Charles, i-apply ko yan. One day, magsisave na ako. One day, sige, magtatrack na ako ng income and expenses ko. One day, mag-i-invest na ako. Or day one. It starts today. I will apply whatever I learned today. I'm making that decision to start really treating my finances seriously. Aayusin ko na. Because it's never late to start making a change sa finances natin. Okay? So, whatever your situation is, let me end this talk with a Bible verse. In Philippians 4:19, sabi dito, and my God will meet all your needs according to His glorious riches in Christ Jesus. Yes, of course, no, na we are doing our best in managing our finances, but at the end of the day, wag po natin kalimutan that there is someone greater than us who is in control and who promises to provide for us, who will meet all our needs as long as we are doing our part. So with that, thank you so much, guys. Once again, my name is Charles, and I hope you learned something from today's session. Thank you so much, and have a good afternoon. God bless.
Okay, so thank you so much for that insightful talk. As someone interested in how to save, budget, and invest in order to become a full adult, I could apply the tips and lessons learned today when I begin a similar career in the future. I know a lot of you are looking forward to ask questions to know more about the topic today. So we are now opening the floor to some questions. Eliza will be the one to address you during the Q&A portion. So please send your questions through the live chat box there on YouTube. So hi, Eliza.
Hi everyone. I'm also a community associate of Ace Commerce and I'll be your host for today's Q&A. I know you guys have a lot in mind, and I know that the topic today will help you a lot with your businesses. So please do not be shy to send your questions to the YouTube chat box. Okay, so while waiting for some questions to come in, someone actually sent a question earlier. She is curious to know, how can we know if we are budgeting our finances correctly?
Sorry, narinig ko ba, how can we know if we are
budgeting our finances correctly?
Okay, thank you so much, Eliza, for that question. Or kung sino man yung nagtanong, how do you know if you are budgeting your finances correctly? So, sa totoo lang guys, wala namang absolute rule when it comes to budgeting. Again, as I've mentioned earlier, it depends on the budget rule na sinet mo sa sarili mo. If meron kang certain standard, ito yung sinet mo, na gagawa mo naman yun, then you're doing a good job. Now, an easy indicator is, for example, para malaman mo kung you're doing it correctly, meron ka ba talaga naiipon? Di ba? I mean, enough ba yung naiipon mo? I mean, nahihit ba yung mga goals mo? Kasi kung hindi, baka medyo kailangan mong i-improve ngayon yung budget rule mo. Di ba? So, there's ano lang naman, kumbaga there's no absolute rule when it comes to budgeting, but as long as you're able to meet your goals on time, may progress naman. Small progress matters, guys. Wag natin i-force yung sarili natin, no, maging super hard tayo sa sarili natin. As long as may progress, nakakapag-ipon naman tayo and na-achieve natin yung goals natin, then I think that would be a good start.
Thank you. So another person is asking, why is it that the percentage of wants in the 50-30-20 budget rule is greater than the percentage of savings, when I thought that the savings were more important than the wants?
Yan, thank you so much for that question. Again, yung 50-30-20 budget rule is just a sample rule. Okay, hindi ko sinasabi na yan ang ultimate na kailangan nating sundin. So, most of us kasi, especially people who are just starting to save, hindi nila agad kaya mag-save ng malaking amount. For example, wag na tayong lumayo, guys eh. 'Di ba? Kahit sarili natin eh. Tanong mo sarili mo, kaya mo ba kagad mag-save ng malaking amount of money kapag nagsa-start ka pa lang? 'Di ba usually negative nga? Or some people baka makarelate, usually wala nga silang nasi-save. So if you are just starting, nagsisimula ka pa lang, parang pwede mong gawing reference yung 50-30-20 para hindi ka sobrang ma-pressure na mag-save. But of course, I would always recommend to have a larger portion sa savings. Kung pwede, kung kaya mo, 50%, kung kaya mo 60% sa savings, why not? But again, it depends kasi on your situation eh. It depends on depende sa needs mo rin kasi. Minsan madami rin kasi tayong needs. Yun. I hope I was able to answer that. Thank you for the person who asked that question.
So another person is asking, can you give us another tip on investing money starting at the amount of 500 pesos?
Ayan, so I'm not sure if student ba ang nagtanong nito or again, we will go back to the 7 questions that I shared a while ago. Meron kang 500 pesos, ano yung pwede mong gawin doon? Depende sa'yo yan. Again, ang daming factors na dapat i-consider. Risk appetite mo, time horizon, talagang oras na ba para mag-invest ka? 'Di ba? I mean, kasi minsan yung 500, maliit yan pero it's sulit yan kapag nag-start ka as early as now, tapos matututunan mo na. You start with a small amount and then, ganito pala nag-work yan. This investment is for me pala. Ito hindi pala to para sa akin. And ako if magbibigay lang ako ng advice, especially for students, as early as now, invest in yourself. If meron kang spare money, binigyan ka ng allowance ng ninong mo, ninang mo, wag mo i-pressure sarili mo na mag-dive ka kagad into investing. Use that money to learn more about finance, investments, invest in yourself. Galingan mo pa para mas may matutunan ka before ka mag-dive into that. But again, consider mo lang kung ano yung mga factors na sinabi ko kanina, yung 7 questions, and then yung mga investment options, bago mo tignan kung ito ba para sa akin or hindi. 500 pesos, malayo mararating yan. I mean, pwede kang invest sa, kunyari, MP2, as low as 500, pwede kang maglagay doon, di ba? Then, it depends on you. Ayun.
Okay, thank you. So another person is asking, what are the tips for evaluating whether an investment is legit or a scam?
Grabe yung tanong na yan. Research. Research talaga, guys. I mean, before ka maghulog ng pera, make sure na napag-aralan mo. So, for example, very accessible naman na guys sa internet eh. Type mo yan kung ano man yung pinapa-invest sa'yo. Type mo yan. Tapos, you can also ask experts na legit ba tong itong certain investment na to? Have you heard of this? Tapos type mo yan sa YouTube. Ngayon, lahat meron na sa YouTube guys di ba? Makikita mo kung magre-recommend yan. Again, sinabi ko kanina, don't dive into an investment without knowing kung ano man yung investment na yan. So if speculative, parang feeling mo sketchy to wag ka kagad magpapasok. Ask financial advisors, ask experts, watch YouTube videos, search mo sa Google, even ask your friends, your parents, maging sigurista ka kapag lalo na pag feeling mo sketchy. But if recommended ng mga ng mga experts, alam na kumbaga tanggap naman na legit naman, governed by the government yung yung company, then I think you have nothing to worry about.
Okay, so the next question, ano po difference ng UITF sa REIT?
Okay. REIT kasi mainly focuses on real estate. UITF, saan yan? Pwede kang mamili stocks, bonds, index, na-gets nyo? REIT mainly focuses on real estate. Pag naghulog ka ng pera dyan, kinukuha ni company yung pera. Pinambibili ngayon ng property. Pinaparent nila yung property na yun. Pag kumita yung property, dun dinidistribute yung income. Ganun ang REIT. Sa ano kasi sa mutual fund or UITF, hindi siya real estate eh. Ano siya? Either sa stocks, sa bonds, or mixture of stocks and bonds. More on ganun. Ganun yung pinagkaiba nila. Pero yung concept parehas lang. It pulls money from investors and then mutually shared ang risk. Sabay-sabay binibigay yung returns.
So another person is asking, what do you think is the best investment option for fresh graduates or newly employed people?
Okay. Depende, no? Kung marami kang oras, if you have that knowledge or if you have the luxury of time, of course, kung kaya mo mag-stocks, why not? 'Di ba? Kung gusto mo mag-crypto, why not? Lalo na kapag risk taker ka naman. But if fresh grad, medyo hindi ka pa ganun ka familiar, you can try yung mas mas hindi ka magmo-monitor. For example, pwede ka muna kunyari MP2 na lang. Doon na lang muna tayo magsimula. Sa MP2 para siyang savings lang naman na mas mataas ang interest. Kasi hindi mo gagalawin for the next 5 years. Pero kung gusto mo talaga na investment, hindi savings program, you can try mutual funds or UITFs. Kasi sa MF and UITF, there are fund managers who handle your account, your fund. 'Di ba? Sila yung nagma-manage nun para sa iyo. May certain fees lang but at least mas alam nila yung ginagawa nila. Kasi kung ikaw fresh grad ka pa lang, medyo kaka-start mo lang, tapos ikaw yung nagma-manage ng sarili mong funds, kunyari sa stock market, baka hindi mo alam kung ano yung ginagawa mo, hindi ka pa magano ka-experience, you might lose money. Yun. So I suggest dun ka muna sa mas safe, kumbaga. Go for more conservative allocation muna.
Okay, so another person is asking, how are we going to justify if the expenses that we lend our money are worth buying or not?
Ano po ulit? Sorry. Can you repeat the question po? Thank you.
Sorry. How are we going to justify if the expenses that we lend our money with are worth buying or not?
How can we make sure if the... Sorry, isa pa. Sorry medyo mahina kasi on my end.
Oh, sorry. How are we going to justify if the expenses that we lend our money to are worth buying or not?
The expenses that we lend our money to?
Lend our money with are worth buying or not?
The expenses that we
lend our money with are worth buying or not?
The expenses that we lend our money with are worth buying or not? Ibig sabihin, wait lang ano expenses that we lend our money with? Actually, hindi ko masyadong gets yung question na to.
From my understanding, if worth it daw po yung mga binibili nila. How do they justify it?
Okay. Ayun, ganoon lang pala kasi medyo nalito ako dun sa question na yun kasi parang tricky yung sorry guys sorry sa comprehension natin. Baka dahil sa sa gutom, no? Or okay, so how do you justify if what you are spending your money on are worth buying? Okay. Ang hirap sagutin nito guys kasi at the end of the day guys, hindi naman pwedeng hindi tayo gumastos para sa wants natin. For example, you cannot tell yourself na, okay, forever hindi na ako magsispend sa mga luho ko. I will not allocate a single peso on my wants. Sabi kasi ni Charles, kailangan save, invest. So dapat, pag may income ako, allocate lang sa needs, allocate lang sa savings. If you do that, mababalyo po kayo. Kasi yung nature nating tao, di ba, we have this nature na we want to, from time to time, reward ourselves. For example, ako, kaya importante ang pagbabudget, guys. You allocate a certain amount pa rin to your wants. And as long as pasok naman, for example, Whatever, regardless kung ano yung ginagastusan mo eh. Kunyari, travel, or luho mo, sapatos, bags, gadgets, whatever it is, kung ano man yung luho mo, as long as you are within the budget that you set, for me, it's enough to justify na worth it yun. Kasi for example, ako I allocate 20% to my wants. Regardless kung ano yung isa-spend ko dun sa 20% na yun, as long as within 20%, hindi ako dapat mag-guilty. Kasi alam kong nire-reward ko yung sarili ko for doing a job well done. You get my point? As long as you are within your budget rule, I think it's enough to say na okay lang naman yun. Kung gastusan mo sarili mo. Kasi if you don't, mababalyo ka, you'll end up spending all your savings pag pumutok yung ano mo, yung utak mo, na pagka nabigla yan, na magagastos mo buong savings mo. Yun. So don't be too hard on yourself. As long as you're following your budget, safe ka.
Okay, so the next question, do you recommend variable universal life in a wealth protection stage?
Wow, that's a very wise or that's a very good question. Lalo na ano yan sa work ko, no? Okay. I don't recommend agad-agad na variable universal life for wealth protection unless si client ang magsabi, unless ikaw ang magsabi na, Charles, meron bang way na may protection ako but at the same time, I want a portion of my money na mapunta sa investment. Okay? Kasi again, if you are considering VUL, you have to understand na meron pong charges na tinatawag. Okay, ano ba yung charges na yan? For example, meron kang VUL, no? You're paying 30,000 pesos annually for your VUL. Yung 30,000 mo na yan, hindi naman yan 100% na ini-invest eh. A portion of your 30,000 is being allocated sa insurance for your protection fund, and a portion is being allocated to your investment. So, magtataka ka, bakit ganun? Yung kaibigan ko na naka-invest lang, for example, sa mutual funds or sa stocks, ang bilis niya kumita. Pero ako na VUL yung yung pinasukan ko, bakit mabagal? Of course, kasi mas malaki ang charges sa VUL kasi may protection ka alongside with your investment. So, to answer that question, would you recommend? It depends on your needs and your goals. If gusto mo na you're hitting wealth protection at the same time, kahit paano, Charles, gusto ko kasi hindi ko talaga matiis eh. Gusto ko at some point meron na pupunta sa investment. And okay lang naman sa akin yung may charges. Okay lang yun, naiintindihan ko yun. You can do that. And others also recommend BTID. Have you heard of the BTID? The buy term, invest the difference. So meron kasi tayong tinatawag na term insurance. Term insurance is super cheap, sobrang affordable niya, sobrang mura niya. Makakabili ka na ng term insurance ng sobrang mura tapos malaki yung coverage mo. So for example, you have a 30,000 budget, gamitin mo yung 8,000 to buy term insurance worth 1M, and then the remaining 22,000 gamitin mo to invest. Pwede rin ganun. Again, it's an option. If you are interested, pwede natin pag-usapan na mas detailed yan. Pero ayan, sana na-answer ko yung question na yun.
Yes, good naman. So, another person's asking, what can you say about delayed gratification?
Sobrang fan ako ng delayed gratification, guys. As in, guys, hindi, it's up to you. I mean, hindi ko kasi, syempre iba-iba tayo eh. Iba talaga hindi kayang mag-delayed gratification. Delayed gratification is willing kang mag-sacrifice now. Diba? Willing kang i-sacrifice yung luho mo, yung desires mo ngayon for your future benefit, para makapag-benefit ka in the future. For example, shucks, ako mismo, I want to buy a new pair of shoes worth 15,000. Shucks, Charles, gusto ko ng bagong sapatos. Pero if yung goals ko, tinitingnan ko, hindi eh. May mga goals ako na nakaset this year. Unahin ko na lang muna yun. Siguro pag may excess funds pa ako na pwedeng gamitin, that's the time na gagamitin, na bibilhin ko to. So I'm always a fan of delayed gratification kasi para sa akin, mas nangingibabaw yung goals ko in life. Especially now that I'm already turning 29, I'm not getting any younger. So siguro sa early stage ng buhay mo, medyo hindi mo pa na-appreciate ang delayed gratification. Pero pag nandito ka na, mas gusto mo nang unahin ang future mo rather than But again, don't forget, reward yourself from time to time. Hindi naman mahal ang i-reward ang sarili mo, di ba? Pagkain, from time to time, travel ka konti. It doesn't need to be that expensive naman. Di ba? Yun.
Thank you. So another person is asking, how do you determine if you are already financially stable?
Okay, sobrang ganda ng question. Wala tayong certain amount no na okay, pag may 10 million ka na, stable ka na. Kasi that is very, ano ba tawag dito, subject yan eh. Depende yan sa tao. But for me, I would answer that na stable na ako if, masasabi kong stable na ako if I have this certain freedom, financial freedom, or pag I get what I want na, for example, gusto kong bumili ng bahay at age 30 at kaya ko nang bumili. Gusto kong ikasal at age 30, kaya ko nang ikasal. Stable na ako kasi I get to have that power to decide sa mga gusto ko sa buhay. 'Di ba? So, masasabi mong stable ka kasi may decision pa, power ka na to make that decision. Kung ano man yung gusto mo na nagagawa mo. Okay? So, ano yan eh, subject kasi hindi ko masasabi na may certain amount kasi pwedeng ang 10 million sa'yo hindi pa stable. Pwedeng ang 1 million sa'yo stable na. It depends on your situation kasi. But for me, as long as you have that power na nagagawa mo naman yung gusto mo at a certain time, I think okay na yun. Financial freedom, kumbaga.
Thank you. So another person is asking again, where can we start to learn about cryptocurrency? What are the basics that we need to know?
Yan. Thank you for that question. Actually, parehas lang po tayo na nagle-learn pa lang about crypto. And in fact, si Chinkitan, if you are following Chinkitan, meron sila ngayong fino-form na parang ultimate webinar for those who are interested in crypto. Actually, mag-a-attend nga ako doon. This coming April yon, discounted pa yung rate, guys. 2,000 pesos talaga yung regular rate nila, pero parang discounted to 1,000 pesos na lang. And all about cryptocurrency, i-discuss nila doon. You might want to check Chinkitan's page. Andun yung details. Apat sila eh. Apat sila magsispeak doon about crypto. May mga crypto coaches, may mga crypto active traders na in-invite. Yun. So, ako kasi hindi ako expert, guys. I'll be honest hindi po ako expert when it comes to cryptocurrency. Ako mismo, I'm still learning. I'm still doing my research. So, if you want, pag sabay tayong matuto, no, let's attend that seminar. Hindi po to sponsor ni Chinkitan, pero ako mismo talagang follower lang. I'm a fan of Chinkitan kasi. Ayan. So thank you for asking that question.
Alright, so someone is asking again, what are the risks of budgeting if there are unexpected expenses?
Okay, that's why, guys, there will always be unexpected expenses. Pero ano ba ibig sabihin ng unexpected expenses mo? Yung unexpected expenses ba nito, luho? Yung, biglang unexpected, nag-sale yung Shopee, gusto kong bumili. Ganun ba yung unexpected na? O yung unexpected natin is talagang biglang may emergency sa family, may nagkasakit, or na-hospital ka or what. So if you are talking about the unexpected na serious level of unexpected expenses, doon papasok yung importance ng pagse-set up ng emergency fund mo. As early as now, create a budget para may allocation ka na for your emergency fund. Yun ang una talaga natin, guys. Emergency fund. If you are just starting to earn your own income, I suggest huwag ka muna agad tumingin sa investment. Bilisan mo. Mag-save ka na mag-save. Tapusin mo na yung emergency fund mo. At least 3 to 6 months of your monthly salary, dapat nakasecure yan for emergency. Para kahit anytime na may unexpected expenses ka, hindi ka ngayon mamumblema. Diba? Kasi meron ka ng pagkukuhanan ng pondo. Okay, so yan ang importante sa pagbabudget. Walang risk doon, guys eh. Diba? Kasi kaya ka nga magbabudget to set up your emergency fund. Okay?
So another one, how to start investing in stocks at a very young age?
Sorry po, can you repeat the question? How
to start investing in stocks at a very young age?
Okay. How young are we talking about? Regardless of your age, actually, wala yan sa age, guys. Again, if you are into investing, the question is, have you done enough research? It doesn't really matter kung may pondo kang malaki or maliit. Kahit maliit lang yan, as low as 1,000, pwede kang mag-open ng account sa stock market eh. Pwede kang mag-invest sa stock market as low as 1K. Diba? I mean, pwede mo pasukin ang investment regardless of how much money you have. But the point is, meron ka na bang enough skill and knowledge to manage your own funds? Kasi sa stock market, guys, ako, when I was in college, we were exposed to stock trading na agad as young as third year college. And naranasan namin, hindi rin pala madali mag-trade. Kasi, wait lang, trip ko bumili ng, kunyari, ng stock sa Globe. Trip ko bumili ng stock sa Petron, sa BPI. Hindi siya ganun eh. You have to do your own research. Meron tayong fundamental analysis na tinatawag. Meron tayong technical analysis na tinatawag. Fundamental analysis, you are studying the company. Yung SWOT analysis, yung strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Kailangan alamin mo yung current events, updated ka ba sa mga plans ng company na yan, may opportunity ba yan para umangat. You have to do fundamental analysis. And yung iba naman, technical analysis yung ginagawa, yung chart, makikita nila doon, based on the past historical data, aangat yung stock ng market na to kasi yung trend nito, may ganun, may ceiling and may floor silang tinatawag. Medyo complicated na yun, guys. But if you want to invest in the stock market, I suggest, regardless of your age, para malaman mo if it's time for you to invest, dapat you have the capability, may skill ka na, may knowledge ka na to do that. Kasi, and you have the luxury of time also to monitor, lalo na pag active trader ka. Yun lang yung para sa akin, yung take ko.
Thank you. So for
Thank you.
second to the last question, what is the most effective budgeting method as a student or for a student?
Okay, what is the most effective budgeting? Ako guys, nung estudyante ako, to be honest, wala po akong budget sa totoo lang. You are very blessed right now kasi medyo umuuso na talaga ang financial literacy. Ang dami ng mga webinars accessible sa inyo. So if you are a student and you want to start but creating a budget or as early as now, nagiging responsible ka, good job, tap your shoulder, tap yourself kasi you're doing a good job. In terms of the best budget tool, again, walang ultimate eh. Ako, nung nag-start ako, hindi agad spreadsheet yung gamit ko. Kasi to be honest, hindi po ako mahilig sa Excel. Okay, yan na po yung disclaimer. Hindi po talaga ako fan ng Excel. I just started embracing Excel medyo nung mature na ako. But as a student, tamad ka mag-Excel, you can start with yung mga budget tracker apps natin. Yung kanina, yung pinakita ko kanina, kasi guys, sobrang dali lang niyang gamitin. As in, nag-i-input ka lang doon, magkano ginastos ko for today? 100 pesos sa food, 200 pesos sa ganyan. O magkano allowance ko pumasok this week. Ganon. So, matatrack mo na yun every month. If hindi ka naman techie, kung medyo old school ka pa, which hindi ko sure kung may ganun pa ngayon, pwede naman notebook. Again, as long as you are able to track your income and your expenses, and may budget ka, sinusunod mo yun, wala po tayong problema kung regardless kung anong tool ang gamit mo.
So this is the last question due to limited time, and they're asking, separate po ba dapat ang emergency fund sa savings?
Okay, that's a very good question. Yes, definitely. Kasi for example, ako, ang emergency fund ko nakalagay kay CIMB. Yung long-term savings ko nakalagay sa ING na bank. Okay din talaga na may envelope system tayong tinatawag eh. Yung hindi sa isang bangko lang lahat. Bakit? May advantage doon. For example, nasa isang bank lang lahat ng funds mo. Malilito ka ngayon. For example, meron ka ng 500,000 sa bank. Magkano nga ba yung emergency fund ko dito? Alin dito yung savings ko? Even if you're using a spreadsheet, matatempt ka na ang laki ng pera ko. Magagastos mo lang yan eh. So ako, ang ginagawa ko, additional tip that I can give is i-segregate mo. For example, meron kang digital bank, CIMB. Doon mo lang ilagay yung emergency fund mo. I-lock mo na yun, kandaduhin mo na, wag mo munang galawin forever hanggat may magkaroon ng emergency. Nakapark lang siya. And then, separate bank, another saving goal na pwede mong paglagyan. So, yung Tonic, yung kanina, ako mismo mag-open na ako ng account sa Tonic this year kasi yung Tonic meron siyang iba-ibang stashes na tinatawag. Isang bank lang pero you can have as many as 5 na stashes, pwede mo nang i-label. Emergency fund ko to, ito travel fund ko to, ito wedding fund ko to, ito car fund ko to. Pwede mong gawin yun sa Tonic. Yun. So you can explore that app. Pwede mong gawin yun. But I would recommend to separate your emergency fund from your savings or milestone fund para hindi ka malito, hindi mo rin magastos.
Okay, that's all the questions we have for today, and I'm giving the floor back to Melo. Thank you.
Okay, so once again, thank you so much for answering the questions and for the insightful and informative talk you have shared with me and everyone in this live stream. With that, we want to award this certificate of appreciation to you for being our speaker for today. Ace Commerce Philippines award this certificate of appreciation to Mr. Charles Chavez for imparting his valuable insights and inspirations at the Ace Commerce webinar entitled Saving, Budgeting, and Investing Get Solid Foundation, given on this day, March 25, 2022, Manila, Philippines. Signed by Franz, CEO and founder of Asia Commerce. Thank you again, Sir Charles, for being such an inspiration to me and the people of today's event. We really appreciate you allotting time for us, and it was truly an honor to have you speak for us. Before you go, is there anything else you want to promote or where our audience can reach you?
Ayun, thank you so much again, Ace Commerce Philippines, for this wonderful opportunity na nakapag-share ako ng experiences ko and knowledge ko about personal finance. To those who attended, yung mga 860 plus who are watching in YouTube, nababasa ko yung comments nyo, guys. You are very much welcome. Thank you so much for making time for this attending this webinar. If you want to ask any question, feel free to add me on Facebook. Follow me in Instagram. Reach out to me via email. Ayan, very approachable naman ako. Let's talk about your finances. Let me help you, to improve the way you handle your finances. And if you are someone who are looking for an extra source of income and gusto mo as early as now kumikita ka na ng mas malaki, you can also talk to me. You might want to do the same, na gusto mo ikaw naman next time ang magtuturo sa iba on how they can manage their finances better. Feel free to reach out to me because I'm currently expanding my team. Baka you might want to join us. Ayan. And of course, if you want to try rabbit meat, or if you want to buy your own rabbit as pets, follow our Instagram accounts and our Facebook page as well. Thank you so much, guys, for attending. Sobrang salamat po. God bless you all.
Okay, for our following announcement, our weekly webinars will be continued next week. We hope to see you again for our webinar entitled Design Thinking and Implementation of Sustainable Inclusive Business Models with the Grassroot led by Mr. John Vincent Gastanes, the founder and CEO of Project Zacchaeus. Okay, so you can RSVP on our website for this event. Again, thank you and see you guys again next week, same day and time. Also, we will be posting our April webinars by the end of this month. You can check updates on our Facebook page. Finally, for the last reminder, for the participants who would want an e-certificate, please do not forget to create an Ace Commerce account through our website, acecommerce.org, as we give announcement for future webinars where you can RSVP. Please also do not forget to answer the e-certificate form that will be sent at the chat box. Friendly reminder that we will strictly no longer entertain concerns about e-certificate and create e-certificate. To those who failed to answer the Google form, please avoid making errors in putting your emails. Incorrect emails will no longer be our responsibility. If you want to learn more about entrepreneurship and get updated for upcoming events, please like our Facebook page. And in order to connect with fellow entrepreneurs and aspiring entrepreneurs, you can join our Telegram groups so you can network and ask advice from the community. So that's it. Remember that the evaluation form will be closed at 11:59 p.m. today. For concerns, kindly message us on our Facebook page or on our Telegram channel. Thank you everyone for joining our event today, and we hope to see you again in our next event on April 1, Friday, 4 p.m. So thank you.
I'm only only one step. Only